recently there was basically a rumor buzzing around that there's a new Xbox on the horizon. And if you watch one of the recent announcement videos from Phil Spencer, you can actually get a tiny little glimpse of this new Xbox, new prototype that's been briefly talked about and been in the works for a little bit at this point. So in this video, I'm going to go over and show more glimpses of that console, what it could be, what it's supposed to do, and a lot of the information that we currently have about it. So we're going to take a look at that in just a moment. So Phil Spencer had an announcement on the Game Pass hitting different countries, and for some of the keen-eyed observers, if you look in the top right, you can see on his shelf that there's a Xbox Series looking console that's not quite a Series S or a Series X. And it's since been assumed that this is the new prototype for the Xbox Keystone. So the Keystone, as I understand from reading through mostly Windows Central over the past couple months here, is essentially a streaming console. So it's not supposed to have any actual on-deck hardware to play the games natively. It's going to stream it from Microsoft servers. And ideally, as I understand, this is going to be kicking off with Game Pass Ultimate's cloud options that they have. So the idea behind it is a cost-effective or a really cheap Xbox streaming device to play streaming-only games. I'm not exactly sure what market they're going to target, but what I'm understanding is they want to release it when they're able to produce it for around $100, which, if you break it down, that's really good value, especially if, as I understand, it does come with a controller. So for $100, you get a controller and this device. It's a big incentive for someone who just wants a secondary controller even to have to kick in an extra $30 to get a secondary Xbox device for their home, which is the way I would look at it. However, the downside to it, and I'm just going to put this out there, is I'm not sure where cloud gaming's at. Now, I have followed a couple different YouTubers who've tried it. I've looked at a couple different Xbox groups that I'm a part of, and people talk about using cloud gaming on their phones and their MacBooks, but I'm still not entirely sold on the concept. So it seems like this console's essentially going to be just straight streaming. And I'm also going to wager that Microsoft is most likely not going to fully release this until that sort of service is completely ironed out. In my opinion, I'm still skeptical of cloud gaming, and I think part of that comes to the fact I do have good internet for the most part, but I have used some cloud gaming services in the past, actually quite a ways back when it came to, I think PlayStation had a PlayStation Now service on the PS TV that I used to use, and you could rent cloud-based games, and those were very mixed. And I've seen some of the stuff on Stadia, which looked pretty good, but it still wasn't without faults. And a lot of it really does come down to quality of internet and basically trying to reduce latency overall. So with that being said, if a device is only $100, to me, I don't think the market for this is necessarily people getting this device as a main Xbox device. As I understand, this device is almost going to be like a secondary device for people who might be on the go or want the Xbox experience in their other living room or bedroom, but don't necessarily have it in their, aren't going to have it in their main 4K TV display. I'm also curious if by the time this does come out, Microsoft's going to be able to improve the resolution, which I know seems to be a bit of a barrier when it comes to cloud gaming, because especially, again, it's all about latency, and sometimes higher resolutions, it's going to take more, bandwidth to try to make that look crisp. And I know that's a complaint that some people have with the current cloud gaming service, is that the resolution isn't the best and kind of artifacts sometimes as well. So I personally, I'm open to this idea. I think it's cool. I like the idea that Microsoft's expanding or trying to expand the Game Pass market, especially on the cloud side of things. I like that idea, and I also like if this ends up holding true. I like the idea of $100 or so price point for basically a micro streaming console. I think that there's a lot of cool ideas behind that and a lot of incentive to purchase one, especially if you're looking at like getting a secondary controller. So this is basically all the knowledge we have on this. There's not really much spec wise. As I understand, the best look we're going to get is from that recent Phil Spencer video, and overall I'm thinking it's a cool idea, and I don't think it's going to replace, though, the Series S or X consoles anytime soon. So let me know what you guys think about this device and cloud gaming in general, even in the comments below.